Hello, my friends. Welcome to the very first buzzword reading challenge vlog of 2026. My mom is on her way over. I have just finished filming my Everything I Read This Year video, so I now have this huge bin of books I need to get rid of. And maybe I can pass some of them along to my mom. Every single month we get together, we go to the bookstore, used bookstore, new bookstore, library, whatever. She updates us on what she's read in the last month, and we shop. And this time we're gonna shop my shelves, and I wanted to make it a proper shopping experience. So I cleared off 2 shelves, and I'm gonna put all of these books on there so she feels free to pick any of the ones that I'm already getting rid of. She can pick anything she wants, but we're gonna call these the overstock shelves. And maybe she will find a gem in here. Well, maybe I should go by genre. Sci-fi, fantasy. Yeah. Ooh, maybe she'll want Behooved. So if you were wondering what books from that video I didn't like this year and I'm getting rid of, here is that information for you. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 56 books that I am ditching. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I hated all of them. It's just there are books that I know I'm not gonna care to own for the rest of my life, so I don't need to hold on to them right now. And also, there are shelves here that I'm pickier about which ones I keep. Like my SFF shelf, like anything speculative or horror, I'm pretty picky about the ones that I'm keeping because that shelf is so full. It's full like double thick. Meanwhile, my thriller and mystery shelf still has some gaps in it. I have some ideas of what my mom might pick, and maybe some ones that I'll try to push on her. We'll see. It's the first vlog of 2026!
God, your hands are cold. Holy crap.
Rob's been telling me that so much lately. Sometimes I just go and like he'll be lying in bed ready for bed and I'm out here freezing to death and I'll just climb in bed and open my hands on him. We have a huge update. You told me something that they don't know yet. That you finished a book last year.
Yeah.
And that it would be your favorite book of the year.
It would have been if we had done it, if I had read it before our final video of the year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Last year we did a little like survey. It was like your favorite book, your least favorite book.
Yeah.
And there's something that bumped all of them. So tell them what it was.
Oh, The Will of the Many. Yeah. I really like that.
That is why I have placed a book. Oh, these are the shelves for you to shop?
Oh, you're limiting me to specific shelves.
No,
I see.
You can have anything you want, but those are my overstock. I'm taking those to donate.
Okay.
So if you want any of them, I would recommend those shelves.
Okay.
And I happen to have 2 copies of The Strength of the Few.
Okay.
Because the publisher keeps sending it to me.
Oh.
So I'll probably keep one. I only gave it a 3. But we are very different.
Yeah.
With our, especially like fantasy and series vibes. Like, I want a book series to be the same vibe the entire time. Meanwhile, I think normally fantasy readers appreciate different things happening. And so like The Strength of the Few will probably be like a 5-star for you. Because it's like other stuff is happening.
That's your prediction, is it?
I think so.
Yeah?
Because a lot of people are really liking the series as it continues.
Okay.
I just feel like it was so different in a lot of ways.
Too different?
That I just kind of lost interest. So yeah, you loved Will of the Many. A 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
That's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else did you finish?
Well, the 2 books that we got at the bookstore the last time.
I know you got The Devils, and I cannot remember what else you got. Or no, not The Devils. There's these 2 books. They seem like the same book to me. They seem like the same author to me. And people, I think, love them so much equally that I see them together all the time that I conflate them for one another. One is The Devils by Joe Abercrombie, and one is, I'll get there, King of Sorrow by Joe Hill.
Okay, you can leave out the of. It's just King Sorrow.
Okay, and maybe it's because they're both Joes.
Maybe.
But they're these big, long, like, fantasy horror things.
Uh-huh.
And I keep thinking they're the other one. You finished King of Sorrow.
I'm so sleepy because I stayed up way too late because I knew we were going to be talking, so I wanted to make sure I finished it last night.
Put the pressure on you like
Good
that.
Lord. It was an epic saga.
Mm-hmm. Would you have given it a higher rating if it was shorter, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It was divided. Like, within the book itself, there was part 1 and part 2 and I don't even know how many parts there was. Mm-hmm. At least 3. Maybe there was 4. I don't know. And they were all a different tone. Like, it could have been a different story.
Oh, almost. Like they were that different?
Yeah. Like, it takes place over quite a span of time as well. Mm-hmm. And it just, they're like different people from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. So parts of the story was like really, really good and really gripping. But then other parts was like, okay, let's get over this part so I can get to the next part. Okay. You know? Okay. So overall, probably a 3.75.
Wow, very specific.
I know.
Love it. That's my favorite rating. I feel like I give it a 3.75 a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, a 4 means I liked it.
A lot.
A lot. A 5 is, oh my god, I'm obsessed.
Right.
So a 3.75 is like, I could have really liked it, but I didn't. And I have no idea what else you read.
The Golden Sun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then didn't I gift you...
For Christmas. You gave me the third one for Christmas.
You know what's so funny?
What?
I went to the bookstore 5 days after we were there.
Okay.
And I bought you Golden Sun for Christmas.
And then you edited the video and went, wait a minute.
That's exactly what happened. And I was like, So then I went back to the bookstore and I was like, can I return this one for this one? And she looked in because I didn't have my receipt. Why would I keep my receipt? So she looked at my account. She was like, you bought them 5 days apart. I was like, sure did. I sure did.
Yeah.
I thought I was being so helpful. Ooh, I'm going to buy my mom a Christmas present. The same book. I just bought her 5 days ago.
Yeah.
Are you gonna, okay, so did you like that one enough to read the one that I got you for Christmas?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like it the same as Red Rising?
I think I liked the first one slightly better.
Oh, okay.
But just because of the setting, more like the school-like setting.
Right.
And part 2, he's no longer the young person that he was in school. He has advanced in his grand scheme of things.
Okay. Wait, maybe I'm mistaken about the strength of the few then. Maybe you won't like it as much.
We shall see.
We'll see. So are you going to commit to that?
That is what I have next in line on my TBR.
Okay. Do you know the buzzword challenges of the month?
No. I sure don't.
Okay, well, I did ask you to bring this book.
I did.
Okay.
You did.
Maybe
you did and I did.
Maybe you can guess. Look at the title.
Yes.
Okay, what do you think? It could be...
Senses.
That's a good guess. We did that a couple years ago. Okay, no.
No?
It's just this word.
Oh, okay.
Our first prompt of 2026 is before and after.
Okay.
And I had no idea what I was going to read. I had like absolutely no plan. There's this Stephen Graham Jones I was thinking about because it has after, and then I was looking at all of these lists and there was like this hockey romance I was thinking it was called like Before We Come or something.
Jeez. All right.
And I was like, I'll try out all these things. There was this one Goodreads Awards denominated one that I was pretty sure I was going to read, and then I couldn't get it in time. Even though it's a Canadian author, and everyone was like, oh, there's a Canadian book in the Goodreads Choice Awards. This is so exciting. The audiobook's not available in Canada. And the book isn't available at any bookstores. I have to order it online, and it's going to take like 2 weeks. So I should have planned ahead. But then I was looking, thankfully, my buzzword participants, they have a story graph where they can like add all of the books to this list. And I was scrolling through that list for pages and pages and I saw this and I was like, oh yeah. My mom said this was so good.
Yeah.
And this was like your number one technical recommendation to the general public.
Yes.
Because it's pretty palatable, I guess. So
yes.
This is what I'm going to commit to.
All right then.
So we'll have Buddy read a book 6 months apart.
We had another one that we were going to buddy read. I don't even know if you've read it yet.
We did?
We did.
What was it?
You bought The Correspondent because we were going to both read it.
Oh yeah, I read it. It's right there. I'm getting rid of it.
Okay.
It's
this one.
Ta-da!
Okay. This I already knew that I wanted to read.
The other one's right there.
Okay. Okay.
I think you'll like it more than I did. I thought it was fine. You could read about a man who turns into a horse by day.
That doesn't appeal.
Okay, that's going in the laundry basket. This one's about a dragon in love with a lady. Okay, that one we're getting rid of.
Just the cover turns me off.
That one's like a cutesy, she's on a spaceship solving murder. Oh my god.
It's little. Metal Slinger. Water Moon. I remember you buying this one because the cover was for a prompt, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's also a sequel to this. Look at this cover. Not your vibe?
No, not that one. Miss Winter in the Library with a Knife. A mystery.
It's one that you get to solve. Like the book makes you a character.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh my god! She picked another one.
Sounds like one of those books I used to read as a teenager. Like The Wolf and the Dove.
Oh, maybe you'd love it.
Those kind of books.
Okay, I'm gonna shop my own bookshelves. And I'm gonna read this one. Because the cover prompt is internal body parts.
As opposed to external body parts?
Exactly. Okay. So it's not like elbows, head and shoulders, knees and toes. It's like bones, blood, organs.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like the 8th book in the series. This is probably the deepest into a series I've been in like a decade. And it's historical. Pretty impressive. Okay, so what I failed to tell anyone is I've actually already started Aftertaste. I listened to a couple hours of the audiobook, and in this moment, I'm trying to figure out if I dislike the book or I just dislike the audiobook, because that's definitely a possibility, and why I asked my mom to bring it physically. I was just gonna commit to the audio experience, but it's not going well. So I thought, give me the physical book, and I'm just gonna knock this out today. I'm gonna commit to it, and hopefully it improves from here. This isn't how I wanna kick off the year-long project, and if I start to actively hate it, I will swap it out for something else. There's just something about the narration that is really turning me off from this book. If I didn't know better, I would have thought this was written by a man. Like, I didn't look at the author name when I grabbed the audiobook. I had no idea it was written by Daria Lavelle. I would have said this is a dude bro kind of book because of the main character and because of the narrator and the style of it. It just feels very, at the beginning, dismissive of the female characters. Like, they're just there to be the perfect embodiment of something for the men to like learn and grow. The people don't really feel like people, they feel like caricatures, especially the women. So what this book, oh my God, is about, my mind is all over the place. I have a lot going on right now. Okay, the book is about this guy who can connect people with their loved ones. In the pitch, it says like, I think he has this whole restaurant. He's like a part of the culinary scene, and he runs this business where people come to him to connect with their loved ones. But at first, we're just following him as he learns he has this ability. When someone is around and the spirit is trying to connect with him, he will taste a certain thing. And if he can create the meal that matches what the spirit, like their memorable meal, then he can bring the spirit back for a portion of time. And it's like this last moment with their loved one where they can say goodbye or they can air any grievances, what have you. In the first time that it occurs, the woman spirit who comes is just like the dynamic between the husband and wife is just, I don't know, it just didn't feel like this is the kind of story it was going to be. I felt like it was going to be more like sentimental, but it was just a lot more like gritty. The guy was like, here's to you, bitch. And she was like, see you later, loser. It was like kind of a cool girl, cool guy kind of thing. And I just wasn't vibing with it. Then the main character, he has this friend and they have this back and forth that's very dude bro-y, and his friend, the things that they're talking about, he was just like, and you know, I've got the biggest balls around town, huge nuts. Ever seen a durian? It's like that, but without the spikes. I do my landscaping perfect, but I do think it was the audiobook, because that's what the audiobook guy sounded like. And perhaps if I was just reading it and interpreting it myself, it wouldn't sound like that. And then there's this narration in between the proper narrative, which is following Constantine and what he's discovering about himself. Everyone's dealing with grief. He's dealing with the loss of his father, and everyone around him has loss. But it's not as like heavy or sentimental as it seems like it's gonna be. And then especially with the in-between sections, it feels like you're watching a stage performance. This kind of feels like a play. Everything is so over the top, including these sections where there's like a narrator talking to a group of people, kind of talking to you as the reader, as if you're at the restaurant. And it's the vocal stylings of this narrator is grating me so much. He's like, everybody come on in to the restaurant. Here's what we're serving up tonight. The tour is my little way of giving back, of helping out my boy while getting me some of that good restaurant karma. But enough about me. I hate it. But I do also like a silly over the top kind of vibe. I just don't want to listen to it, maybe. What I think the book is doing really well is it's making things feel stressful. And it kind of feels like watching, yeah, it's kind of like watching The Bear, and like everyone's interactions are so heightened. But also I just watched Marty Supreme, and you know how he's like just running around and just arguing with people all the time. It's like so high energy. This book kind of feels like that too. Like every single scene, it feels like something really terrible is about to happen, but then maybe it doesn't. So the first time he starts to really connect all of these dots and realize that he can bring someone from the dead, and like he's figuring stuff out, and there's this one really kind of important one that he could get to do. It's at the exact same moment that he's starting to get responsibility in the kitchen. He's working at restaurants, and obviously we know that in the future he has successfully done this, but at this time he's just trying to get some respect in the kitchen. He's kind of a lowly employee, and he has this opportunity, and of course when he has to prove himself this very day and this very moment, this is when he has that moment that he could really connect a spirit with the real world in a way that he might not ever get to do again. So it's like he's gonna sabotage his one moment in the restaurant for this one moment with the other world. I think I like what the book is going to say about prioritizing things, but at the point that I'm at, which I feel like is almost halfway through, I don't know exactly where I stopped, but I feel like there should be more about the morals or ethics, or just him even thinking and considering the implications of what he's doing. Like, how do the spirits actually feel? What actually happens to them after? Is this actually good for the people who want to talk to the spirit? Like, I don't think the book has to say anything definitive about it, but it's like he's not even thinking about that. He's just kind of going forth and doing whatever. And he keeps saying he has such good intentions, and everyone around is like, this is such a great thing that you're doing. You're so like thoughtful. But I don't know if that's really what it is, because we're not getting to know him in this close way. I'm assuming the book's going to take a turn, because I know there's also a romantic relationship that's going to be introduced, and I'm sure that that's going to bring in different conversations, a different even point to the book. But I just think it's weird that we're just thrust into this whole world, and the guy isn't really thinking about what he's doing, and therefore I don't feel like the author is really thinking about what they're writing. But I'm definitely interested enough in the plot to know what's going to happen from here. So I am going to stare at it with my eyes for the next couple hours. And then I think before I officially finish it, I'll let you know if the vibes are changing with the book or how I'm feeling about the book. Hello, I've barely moved, and I've made great progress. I am using my fishy bookmark because this book is a lot about food, and that's definitely the best part of the book, is the descriptions of meals and tasting. Very well described, explained, the cooking elements. Sorry, you fell. A little precariously set up on the bed. Oh, I meant to mention the book charm shop. Me and my mom have a bookmark little business, and we currently can't ship to the United States, but the shop is live again. So especially Canadians, we would love for you to order. We would love to ship to you. Orders have been really down since we can't get through the shipping and tariff situation into the States. And that was like 95% of our customers. And we appreciate those people so much. And I really hope that we can get back, and Etsy can get back to making that easy and possible again. But if you're someone who's been thinking about ordering and you live in any other country, we would love to have your business, and our book charms are beautiful. My mommy works very, very hard on them. Okay, back to what I was talking about with this. I think it makes sense that this is in the Goodreads Choice Awards. There are certain books, not every book in the Goodreads Choice Awards is really like commercial, but this feels like a really commercial story. Like, you know when you're listening to an album and you get to a song and you're like, oh, that's the one. Like, that's the one that's going to be on the radio every single day for the next 6 months. This book feels very commercial. Like, it's not leaning into any one thing. And it could be so many different things. It could lean into the weirdness. It could have been a really weird book. It could have leaned into romance and been like really romantic and sentimental. It could be really heavy and steeped in the grief and the emotions. It could have been more laugh out loud funny. There's an angle to this that's hilarious, but instead it's going into a more sentimental direction. It could also lean into horror. This could be a horror book, but it just feels safe. It feels straight and narrow, something you can kind of recommend to anybody who wants an attention-grabbing book. This book is written at a level 6 the entire time. It's like the book is on a light jog the entire time. It's not really taking time to to sit back and have slower scenes or get really, really crazy. It's just like a slightly heightened heart rate the entire book. Regarding the plot, there has been a woman introduced. She is a much more interesting character to me. Our main character, he definitely has the makings of being interesting to follow. I just don't know why she wrote him to be so kind of nothing, like kind of like pitiful. It's like when you read a fantasy book and the main character is supposed to be a self-insert, and so she doesn't really have very many characteristics, but you don't really realize because everything happening around her and everyone reacting to her is as if something is happening and that she's doing something, but he's not. He's just kind of existing, and it's just like, I don't know, it feels like this. It feels like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, the plot is like, okay. Am I describing this well for you? I hope so. I don't know. I think a lot of people like to kick off the year with a 5-star read. They want, you know, it's like when you start your goals at the beginning of the year, you want to start out with a bang. I like starting out with maybe a 3-star because it doesn't really set my expectations too high for the rest of the year. I'm not trying to ever chase or like get back to something. It's just like, this makes sense for my first book of the year. Three point 3.5. Let's give it a 3.5. I think this would make for a really good book club book because I think lots of people would have things they would want to talk about, decisions that they would make versus the characters. Obviously, there's the question of like, what would your meal be? What's the, memorable meal, most perfect meal you ever had? The one that would just elicit some type of memory response or connection. What would mine be? Asparagus pasta. I need to get all the books back on this shelf and the laundry bin in the vehicle so I can take all of those books to donate. There was a couple sections that were written in second person. That was really interesting. I like books that have an interesting writing style. On paper, this is my kind of book. There's different perspectives. There's different characters. Like I said, that one that slips in, that narrates some odd things. That one kind of disappeared, I feel. Though it makes sense as we're like traveling through time. So eventually the book kind of like catches up with itself, I suppose. I guess I liked the plot enough with like what happened with him and the woman and the other person that was kind of involved. The tattoo session scenes, perplexing with the descriptions of how the tattoos were happening. It didn't make a lot of sense. But I mean, if we're in the world of the paranormal, and did that even make sense? Like the explanations and how the connections worked and the reasoning for everything, did it totally make sense? Even with it, like obviously being paranormal and whether or not you could believe in that yourself. As a commercial read, I think this did everything correctly. The different relationships that were happening, the like having to grapple with your feelings and your loss and like find connection in new different places. I just don't think that the cast was really utilized their fullest potential. I don't think that the dialogue necessarily felt natural, but there were beautiful descriptions and the concept is still really interesting. So yeah, that's an explanation for my rating. And I guess I'll check in with you when I'm reading Veronica Speedwell. That one's sure to be a 4 because all the books in that series, except for the last one, have been a 4. I figured since me and my mom always start the vlogs in the vehicle, but we didn't this time, I would film here by myself. I'm out and about today. I'm getting some groceries. I have my eye on something specific that I have seen on TikTok for years. Is these little like fruit ice cream things. I don't know if your TikTok is as like I don't even watch food stuff on TikTok, but I still always get served these videos of like trying beautiful desserts in LA, and they're like shaped like fruit and they look like fruit, and then you bite into them and it's like cake, and it doesn't even actually sound that good because I don't even like cake, but it's like cake and like layers of goo and fruit. Since I started seeing those, I saw other people have these like mangoes and peaches and stuff with their ice cream, and I've looked everywhere. Mostly like Asian food stores is where I've seen people get them, and ours has just never had any. I've been checking. And then I got, you don't care. Why am I talking so much about frozen mango? Honestly, it's just like all I've been thinking about for the last couple days is I want to go find these because I got a TikTok that was like, oh my God, I finally found them at Superstore. I was like, Superstore. And then it said it was an Ontario location. I was like, ugh. And then I went to the comments. The FYP is getting a little too local, apparently, because the very first comment was like, I found them at No Frills in Kelowna. So I'm going to go to No Frills in Kelowna. But first, I'm at the thrift store. First, before I go do any of that, I'm going to tell you about this. But everyone always cleans out their house, like right after Christmas. And they're either donating a bunch of like books that maybe they've read already, just because they're doing like a clear out after Christmas. Doesn't everybody do that? Or two, they're donating books specifically they got for Christmas that they didn't want. So I'm going to go scour the shelves and see if I can find anything. I'm going to donate, or I guess it's still donation, right? The library bins that I always put all my books in. All the books I don't want anymore, those 40 something. I'm reading A Sinister Revenge. Let's take a close look at the dinosaur bones, which is why I picked this one. We're kind of regularly following, because Veronica and Stoker are natural historians, this is the 8th book in the series, and I still don't know. A Lepidopteris. Nope. Veronica studies butterflies, and she ends up intertwined with Stoker, who's a historian, and he does a lot of, like stuffing, like animal preservation. And so because of their careers and their interests, every single book kind of they align with somebody who's also has a job kind of, or hobbies in nature. We followed like one where there was a mountaineer, there was a club of mountaineers. And in this one we have some archaeologists. This is the most like murder mystery that I've read in a couple books. I feel like a classic, like kind of locked room situation where a bunch of these people come together. They put on this dinner, this event, and Veronica and Stoker are asked to come there because there's this group of individuals who are besties, and one of them in the friend group died years ago, and one of them is now getting notes that imply maybe they are next to die. So perhaps someone is picking off the rest of the friend group because maybe somebody knows something in the friend group about what happened back in the day, and they are tasked, Veronica and Stoker, with solving that mystery. But I feel like it wouldn't be a spoiler to tell you. Let's see. They're at the reunion party and the festivities turn deadly. So someone also is dead at that dinner, and now they're solving that. There was already a couple cutesy quotes that I tabbed. In between the last book and this one, Veronica and Stoker have been separated. Stoker has taken a little bit of a step back from their relationship. It's never been like officially confirmed, oh my God, they're together. They kind of have this back and forth, but clearly they're supposed to be together. Veronica fears kind of the vulnerability of being in this relationship, but that's, a thread throughout the entire series. Nothing has really changed in that regard. And he went away, and she never really reached out because there are certain things about her personality, that are very strong and confident and challenging what's expected of women at this time. But she also falls into a lot of, well, he's supposed to be making the move. Like, I couldn't possibly put my feelings out there. Like, I'm waiting for him to tell me we're ready to go. So she doesn't reach out to him. And he's like, 6 months without a word from you, not a letter, not a telegram, not a carrier pigeon, not even a bloody postcard. Instead, you let me go herring off to Germany without protest, without objection. You asked me for time, I reminded him. I gave it to you. I was respecting your wishes, blah, blah, blah. What would you have me do? Run after you? Throw myself at your feet? Drag you back to England? Yes, he says succinctly to all. He's just like so clear in his wants, but he's also so hesitant for reasons. And then there was also a line, I don't need to tell you the entire scene, but he just goes, my God. And I love when I love Stoker because he can't resist her when she shows up at his door and she's in like a nice little number and he doesn't want to give her what she wants. And so he's not going to, because he's very strong in his convictions, but he will very clearly be very into her. Anyway, as I've said a million times before, I'm reading for Veronica and Stoker. I love them. And I try to care about the mysteries. And compared to a bunch of the other ones, this is a more interesting mystery. But I like that it's not a murder every single time. There's so many different things they're trying to figure out in all of the books. The series is continually interesting, but I do like that we're returning to a classic, like everyone's coming to a manor, one person dies, and now we have to investigate all of them individually. But also, we're in 2 separate rooms across the hallway, but they're like just across the hallway from each other, so anything could happen. Anyway, we're gonna head inside. I'll show you if I find anything. I don't know, I feel like less and less people are kind of donating to Value Village these days and doing more smaller, like the library, Friends of the Library Association, various other things, which is great. But there might be a couple things. Like, I feel like I might find a couple brand new books that people, because people give gifts they just walk into the bookstore, like your, great grandmother. They walk into the bookstore on the table. They're like, oh, these are the popular releases. And they just buy that for you. But let's see what we can find. It's pretty. Lots of book of the months. Okay, there was plenty intriguing in there, but nothing I absolutely needed. And I've been trying to reframe used book purchases in my brain as like, if I was at the bookstore where everything is priced highly and I saw this in the bargain section, would I be as equally excited to find it there? Would I be as likely to buy it there? Because Mosaic has the most incredible bargain book section and everything is like $7, which is pretty much the same price as here. And I could scour that for hours and not find anything I absolutely need. So just because I see it here and I feel like it's a good deal, I feel like it's a rare find, the purchase is more impulsive, and there was nothing there that I would have purchased if I saw it for the same price at the new bookstore. Does that make any sense? Just because it's a good deal doesn't mean I need it, especially if I can get it from the library. And I feel like I was better about that last year than most years. Anyway, let's see if I can find the luck that I'm looking for at the grocery store. Oh my God, I found them! There is apparently 2 different flavors. There's the mango, and there's also peach. Oh, peach, mango, and strawberry come in this one. I'm so excited. When I said ice cream, I didn't mean ice cream. I meant like sorbet. That's what I think it is. Water, sugar, coconut oil, liquid eggs. I don't know. Nothing like an ice cream at 10 in the morning. They just come in these cute little containers, which is way too much packaging. Not for what they are, because they obviously need it, but for the world. I had to go to 2 stores. A Superstore was sold out, but they did have the little thing that said, like, the tag. And so then I went to Independent Grocer. I'm so excited. Look how cute. Yeah, I did crack it. My bad. Just want like the bite of it. Seems so satisfying because it's like a shell. There was no crack. It's so cold. Oh my God. That's delicious. I was gonna open all of them so you can see them all. I don't need to do that. I need to get these home and into the freezer. Oh my God, I hope Rob and Liam are excited to try them. Definitely not the shell I was expecting, considering when you look at it, like there are cracks in all of them. So it just feels like it's gonna be more snappy. Here's the peach one, because I know somebody out there cares. Oh my God, what a great way to start my day. And I'm reading a good book. Okay. I just want you guys to know, if you're somebody who doesn't film yourself, just never really finds himself on camera, like doesn't, record themselves to like talk to people or anything, I want you to know that sometimes you look so different in the mirror as opposed to on a screen. Because when I look in the mirror, this hairstyle eats. Like, I looked cute 5 seconds ago, and now I look like there's a rat's nest on my head. What we actually are here to talk about today is a sinister revenge. What is the revenge portion about? I always wonder, am I going to remember the Veronica Speedwell titles and plots? Am I going to piece them together? I think I said in one of the first videos, like, do you remember what happened for the Veronica Speedwell lovers. Do you remember what happened in each book, or do you feel like the titles can kind of, what's the word? Like coexist, commingle, be mixed up for one another. The title can represent multiple different stories. And I actually think it was Katie who responded at the time. She was like, oh no, I know every single one. I know exactly what happened in each one based on the title. And like, I don't. I'm 8 books deep. I can't tell you which each one was about. Based on the cover, maybe, but the title, absolutely not. Like revenge? Isn't revenge in like half these stories? One of them is called like An Unexpected Peril. Is there not an unexpected peril in like all of these? Maybe A Murderous Relation is the one that I'd be able to remember the most because it's about being related to somebody. But also in each book, especially after the first couple, we do spend a significant amount of time with people in Veronica and Stoker's lives, family members, etc. In this one, his brother is very prominent. And something that I'm liking about this, I'm almost done, the idea of having to investigate a piece of like journal or papers. I think that's something that is my favorite when it happens in this series but like I just like, nonfiction that's about media, the ones that critique music, movies and stuff. I like reading someone's review essentially of a piece of art. And something that happens sometimes in these books, and is happening in this one, is there's like a journal entry that has to be deciphered. And I really like that. Like I loved in English class when we would go line by line in a Shakespeare play and figure out what he was trying to say. So she is going through this journal entry and she's trying to figure out exactly what the person is saying, like what they're alluding to and what this could be a reference for. And it's only one chapter, but I like that. What I don't like, Veronica and Stoker aren't getting it on. I kind of just want them to make out. I'm not even ovulating. Oh my gosh, in my concept blog I was talking about where I read books based on my cycle, maybe I try to read like the 10th Veronica Speedwell during that time. Like maybe something juicy is going to happen in the 10th one. Because I do believe this one's going to end with an exclamation and a vulnerable moment, because that's what we're leading to. And obviously they're also going to solve the mystery. And that's all fine and good. But yeah, I'm back to like book 4 me, who was like, can they just get it on already? And like they kind of did. And now I'm still waiting. But do I want them to just be together for every book and like it's super romantic and sentimental? No. I guess I'm happy with their relationship dynamic enough, but this one is lacking completely, almost completely, any banter, any fun, any cutesy stuff. Oh, I was also going to update you on the popsicle things. The mango one didn't have a snap to it. The peach and strawberry did. So some of them do. And maybe, no, because I got the pack of 3 mango and the pack of 3 them were mixed, and the mango still in that one was soft. So I was going to say maybe they were just packaged differently, like frozen differently. But they both went into my freezer, and I got the snap out of the other 2. And those ones were much more like of a floral flavor, which I was not expecting. They were not as delicious. Rob, in fact, disliked the strawberry, so I got that one all to myself. And then I had to let Liam have the peach because I ate multiple of the mango to myself. But I did take a bite of the peach, and it like actually tasted like peach skin. I'm like amazed at food science, and I'm sure it's chemicals that are so bad for me, but they really pulled off that flavor. And I'm sorry I ate them without you, because I wasn't expecting the snap, and maybe you would have appreciated seeing that. I guess that just means I have to buy them again. Rats. Okay. I'm going to put some respect on Deanna Raybourn's name, because what I think this book does effectively, and when you are wondering, the will they, won't they of it all, even though you know they will, and they are, like I said, you have to be pretty like on top of your shit to be able to create a dynamic that is constantly asking that question without the readers feeling like you're doing it for a gimmick or just to make us wait. Like, she does give enough reasoning behind both of their decisions and the way that they speak to each other, the way they feel about the relationship, that it does feel realistic. And what I think this book did effectively is it kind of reset their entire relationship, which isn't satisfying, obviously. But if you don't know when the series is going to end and you're just going to keep writing it and writing it for another decade, maybe, like, you have to figure out a way to keep the dynamic interesting for you, for them, and for us. And so this book, 8 books in, kind of feels like we're back at square one again. Because there is built up tension. Like, no, it wasn't cutesy and it wasn't fun, but it did lead to one moment at the end where, because we were waiting so long, there was like an anticipation and like a, okay, I guess I can get on board with this, because it is nice seeing a man's emotions and letting that character have opinions, even if it doesn't always make our main female character feel good. It's challenging Veronica, and this entire book series is about challenging Veronica, but it's not with all of these side characters who don't matter and don't get their own stories and aren't fully developed. Like, there is so much going on in the periphery, and I think maybe I don't appreciate that as much as I should. Like, the characters who come in and out of the story, I should pay attention to them. I think that because each one introduces a new kind of often murder plot, there's a bunch of characters who I'm just reading to read. I'm not really getting invested in any of them because I know they're not going to be in the next books because one of them killed the person. But there are a bunch of recurring characters, and it's kind of sitcom-y where people will come in for seasons and you appreciate when they're there, and I'm trying to appreciate when they're there because she's doing a great job. I still didn't love this as much as I want to love the books. 8 books into a series. I'm probably going to put it in the middle, maybe like, I don't know. Like, my initial thought is 3 from the bottom because I liked other plots more. But objectively, I like the murder mystery vibe more. So it's really hard. It's easy to rate this one. It's a 4, but it is hard to rank. But whatever you're seeing on the screen, that's what I've done. And that's it for me today, folks. My very first vlog of the year, my first 2 books of the year, and my first buzzword stuff of the year. It took me, I think, 4 or 5 months last year to find a 5-star in the buzzword reading challenge. I didn't expect it from the beginning, especially when I'm reading a series that I know always gets the same rating. I am going to continue reading this series for the next 2 vlogs, and then you're not going to see me talk about Veronica Speedwell for like another year. That seems so crazy. But I'm really excited to be caught up. And though I don't really have much to say about each book, enough that it should be the highlight of a 2-book vlog, questioning my decisions there, I think that the content at the beginning with my mom is the reason that the buzzword things work, because even if I'm only reading 2 books, and even if I don't have a lot to say about them, or I'm not... I think what I'm trying to say is I'm not gushing over the books and I don't have a rant review. Like when books are 3 or 4 stars, that's great. But does it lead to the best content? I don't know. But because my lovely mommy hangs out with me and we talk about books, that really works out. Oh my God, I need to text her and ask her to drive me to the airport. Oh my God, how did I forget? Okay. I'm going to see you in a couple days with my seasonal TBR, and I'm going to announce the Literally Dead book club picks for February and March. Maybe just February in that video. So I'll see you then. Bye!